federal government can do to tackle the xenophobic attack in South Africa?
Well, I mean, quite honestly, the process of rights and the process of diplomacy actually gives the federal government a lot of ground on what the federal government can do. The federal government it can call the South African ambassador. They can tell him to go, because he lightened what is happening to Africans, particularly Nigerians, particularly Southern Nigerians in South Africa. He made it look as if there are just a few criminal elements. It's not a few criminal elements when people are targeted and killed in such horrific manner. You're burning people alive and you're watching them for hours until they finally die. This is animalistic. It is unacceptable. So the federal government should, first of all, send the ambassador back. The South African embassy should be shut. I don't see what it is that we're benefiting from South Africa, really and truly, that cannot allow the government, the federal government, to do that. The federal government must do that if it is serious in saving the lives of Nigerians in South Africa or any other part of the world, for that matter. That is one. Two, the businesses, MTN, ShopRite, or whatever, even if they're franchised by Nigerians, because you want to go into business, does not mean that Nigerians should die in the country of where you've taken your franchise. So it doesn't matter really the fact that we are placing employment against the lives of people. Yes, people should be employed. And that is the responsibility of government, to make Nigeria conducive for employment and investment to come. But investment coming to Nigeria does not mean that our people should die because investment is coming to Nigeria. No. So the MTN, ShopRite, any South African company that is moving money from Nigeria back to South Africa, that it has made in Nigeria with Nigerian workers, or even with Nigerians taking their franchise, a percentage of that money should be held back until this thing is resolved. And because compensation has to be paid, their money needs to be seized. Because you see, like in the days of when we're fighting, I was part of that, when we're fighting against apartheid in South Africa, the economy of South Africa was affected heavily. Even their fruits and their flowers that they were sending to the UK was identified in the supermarkets. You see it very clearly, imported from South Africa. That way, it gives you the opportunity to choose to buy or not to buy. Nigerians should boycott MTN. Nigerians should port MTN. Later, when they're satisfied, they can go back. Just the same way we're saying people should boycott beef. Nigerians should boycott MTN. They should boycott ShopRite. It's not only ShopRite that is the smaller supermarket. The smaller supermarkets are owned by Nigerians. They import the things that they're selling there. We should go to them. We should go to other supermarkets that don't have affiliation to South Africa. It's the only way that South Africans, whether they are white or black, the people who are making millions and trillions of dollars in Nigeria, are going to feel the effect of what their citizens are doing to Africans and to Nigeria. It is really a shame. It is unacceptable. It is shameful that this is happening in Africa, happening by Africans to Africans. South Africa should be ashamed. I'm happy Madiba is not alive to see this. It will break his heart. I'm happy he's not alive to see this, because he knows what Nigeria did for him personally and for his country. It is a shame. And the white South Africans will be laughing at Africa. They'll be laughing at Nigeria. It is such a shame.
Okay, now in the past couple of days, or in the last few hours, some South African businesses in Nigeria have been burnt and looted and all of that. Do you think this is some kind of solution? Do you agree with this kind of
It is not a solution. But we cannot pretend that we don't understand it. We can't. We cannot pretend. We're human beings. There was a lady on my program that was weeping when she phoned in. You cannot say, I don't think she has a relative that has been killed. But I am pained. I am seriously pained. I don't know how I would feel. God forbid, I don't have anybody in South Africa. And I don't think I will go to South Africa very soon. It is not the solution. But we understand why. It's because the government of Nigeria has failed Nigerians living in South Africa. That is why Nigerians have taken laws into their own hands. And it is even more painful that a Nigerian was killed by a Nigerian police, while the South African police are actually supervising and protecting South Africans while they are perpetrating these murderous genocidal acts against Nigeria. It is not the solution, but Nigeria government must come up with a solution. So far, it has not come up with a solution. To send the envoys that have not arrived in South Africa yet is nonsense. To allow the South African ambassador to even open his mouth to speak after he has been cautioned, he has no business talking. We don't want to hear what he has to say unless if he's he didn't apologize. He did not apologize. He just justifying it and breaking it down to a very minimal issue, like it is criminality. What is criminality? It is not criminality. It is genocidal. Is it because they've not happened every day, or it's not happened the way that people are being killed in the northeast here in Nigeria and stuff like that, that it is not genocidal? It is genocidal. When you do this to another human being, it is unacceptable. The federal government is responsible for the actions that Nigerians took yesterday. The destruction of MTN in Uyo, or the attack in ShopRite in Lagos, or any other part of Nigeria today or tomorrow or whenever time. The federal government must take responsibility for that. It is the failure of the federal government that has made the people so frustrated and so helpless and so angry that they have taken this action. It is a protest. That is what it is. It is a protest. And people are entitled to protest. Now, the level of protest is what we're going to talk about. I would advise people not to be violent. But it is a protest. It's a violent protest, but it is a protest. And I will also want to caution the police that our own people, the police are the people you and I interact with, are supposed to interact with. The police must not allow the government to use them. Because when they allow the government to use them, it is the police that the people see and exert their frustration on. So the police should always be cautious. The police should have made sure that the people didn't do this. The police should understand it is their fellow policemen in South Africa that is protecting South Africans. That a policeman shot a Nigerian who is reacting to what is being done to Nigerians is very unfortunate and very sad. And I'm really sorry that this very instant that the police were put in this position.
Thank you very much.